Good evening, all the joinees. Hi, this is Ansu. I welcome you all to the webinar conducted by Engine Markets. By the time the others join in, let's have a look at today's webinar topic. So, today we would be focusing on mutual fund analytics, that is, single fund analysis. In that, firstly, we will be looking upon performance comparison of the fund against that of its benchmark. We will understand from where we could change the benchmark to compare it with that of the fund performance. And then we will be looking upon a chart which can help you understand the AUM trend. Post which we will be looking upon the asset allocation, that is the portfolio of the fund, how it has changed on month basis. Following that, we would try to understand its rolling analysis, that is on a consistent basis, how is the fund able to generate return, and as well the drawdown and scenario analysis. Post which the quorum would be open for a Q&A session. You could either unmute yourself or type down your questions in the chat box. Also, we will appreciate if you could take up only topic related questions. Anything other than the topic, you could drop in your mail ID or your contact number, and our team can reach out to you for the same. So, let us begin. So, this is our landing page on Engine Markets, which is the Markets tab. Now, since our topic for the day is single fund analysis, I would be doing that by searching for that fund in this search fund search box by simply typing in the name of the fund. So, let's say I just type in HDFC large cap fund and I click on it. And now we get redirected to this single fund analysis. Certain basic details related to the fund that you can come across will be shown in this small box towards the left. Firstly, it will let you know what is the ISIN, or for that matter, the AMFI code for that respective fund. Post which it lets us know the asset class into which the fund falls. Following that, you could view the category into which this fund comes, which is currently a large cap fund. Next, you get to see the launch date. In addition to that, you can also see the fund manager declared benchmark that is there for each of the fund when you go forward with a single fund analysis. Post that, you can see two options mentioned right here, start and end date, both of which could be changed by simply clicking on this change icon. Once you do that, there are certain preset time periods that we have provided for the same. In addition to that, you can also input your custom dates as well. Let's say I take in a time period of 5 years ago. Once you click on that, the start date will automatically be a date which is 5 years from today's date. Post that, we come to the performance analysis of this respective fund, wherein the first landing page will be this fund performance tab. Now, right here, talking about the performance of the fund against that of the benchmark, in this graphical line chart, we can see two line diagrams. First is the blue line, which is showing you the performance of the fund, and next is the black line, which is showing you the performance of the benchmark. Now, benchmark, what has been considered, can be seen right here. It has been mentioned as Nifty 100. However, let's say you wish to change the benchmark to something else. Let's say maybe a BSE 100 or maybe the category average. All you need to do is scroll up and locate this benchmark as a section, wherein, let's say you wish to add in the category average for that matter as a benchmark. You go to this engine page, and from this historical category average, you search for the category name. All you need to do is click on it. And then you get to see how is your fund performing against the category average that you just selected for the time period that you had set in, which does not change. So now I'll just keep it back to what it was originally, which was Nifty 100. So, graphically viewing, we could see that the fund, which is the blue line, is indeed outperforming the benchmark. We could see that it is lying above that of the black line. However, you see this something called that is mentioned as rebased price and Nifty 100, which again is rebased. What do you mean by rebased? In order to understand that, I'll simply click on this actual NAVs. Now, right here, if you see each of this, the fund as well as the benchmark is now starting from its respective level, which is not comparable graphically speaking. Because if we look upon this graph, it says that the benchmark happens to be performing better than that of the fund. In order to remove this issue or cater this issue, we have provided this rebase as an option, which now will pick up a common start point of 100, post which you get to view a fair graphical representation of the data that you're looking upon. Next to that, towards is its right, you get to see certain parameters. Starting off with this cumulative return, which is more or less the absolute or the point to point return generated by the fund, which is to an extent of 161.2%, and that of the benchmark, which is to an extent of 120.6%. Post that, you get to see the CAGR return. Again, this is for the time period that you have set in, which is again higher for our fund, which is at 21, than that of the benchmark, which is at 17. Now, in order to generate such level of return, what was the risk that was undertaken by both the fund as well as the benchmark? You could locate this annual volatility as a parameter, the standard deviation or the risk that is undertaken. So we could see that both the fund as well as the benchmark have a risk which are closer to each other. So you can say the fund with the same level of risk with that of the benchmark is indeed able to generate a better return than that of the benchmark. Hence, you can say that there is an outperformance by the fund against the benchmark, stating that they have taken the same level of risk. And we can also view that in terms of its Sharpe ratio as well, which is the risk adjusted return, which happens to be 0.9 for the fund and 0.72 for that of the benchmark, which is again higher. Post which we try to understand the Sortino ratio, which happens to be exactly similar to that of Sharpe ratio, which will let you know the risk adjusted return. The only difference is that in Sortino ratio, for the purpose of considering the volatility parameter, we will consider only the negative returns as we try to understand the downside risk of both the fund as well as the benchmark. And this ratio as well, the higher it is, the better it is. More like Sharpe ratio, the only difference will be the volatility parameter that we consider will be the negative returns that we take in. Following that, we have is this VAR, which stands for value at risk. That is to say, what is the value of this fund that is at a risk? At a risk of what? At a risk of losing. Now, here in this blue colored coded box, you can see 95 has been mentioned. So, this happens to be the confidence interval. So, it says that with a 95% confidence interval, there is a 5% probability, which is 100 minus 95, that is 5. There is a 5% probability that if history were to repeat itself, the fund would go down by a total of 21 percentage, while the benchmark would go down by a total of 22.8 percentage. Now, if we put it into simple terms, 100 rupees invested in both the fund as well as the benchmark, capital erosion for the fund would be 21 rupees and capital erosion for the benchmark would be 22.8 rupees. Now, you see also implied VAR. Now, the difference between implied and historical VAR is the component that is taken under consideration for the purpose of calculation. The methodology of calculation remains exactly the same. The only difference is in historical VAR, we consider the historical returns for the purpose of calculation, and in implied VAR, we consider the historical volatility for the purpose of calculation. And this blue section that I highlighted, this is editable. So it is an industry standard to keep it at 90, 95, or 99. That is the reason we have given you an option to change this. By default, it would be at 95 as you see on the screen. Post that, this happens to be the graph of cumulative outperformance. That is, it says against the benchmark on a specific date or a specific point, how has the outperformance or underperformance happened for each of the fund. We show this on single fund level as well as on a portfolio level. So just as we see onto this line graph, which says that there has been consistently outperformance by the fund against the benchmark. Hence, cumulative outperformance, which is it is saying what is the alpha that is generated by the fund against the benchmark. Post the fund performance, we could come up to this AUM section. The second box, which shows AUM, firstly, you can see what is the current AUM for each of the fund. So for HDFC Large Cap, it is approximately 38,200 and odd crores AUM, which the fund currently holds. Now, all you need to do is click on this graph like an icon, which once clicked will let you know the change of AUM for different time period. Mhm. Just a moment. So once you click on that graph kind of an icon, there are two graphs or rather bar charts that you can come across. First will tell you the AUM history. That is, for the historical period, how has the AUM of a respective fund changed on month basis. You could keep your cursor on this bar graph and it will give you the amount in crore in terms of AUM. Following that, the second bar graph will show you the AUM changes. Now, you might know the AUM changes specifically due to two reasons. First is due to cash inflow and outflow that happens due to purchasing or selling of the underlying shares or underlying commodities for each of these funds. Second, it happens due to change in the market performance. Now, what we are showing right here, just against this AUM history, this AUM change is denoted, or this AUM change represents the cash inflow and outflow. So the green line will show you the cash inflow that has come in comparison to the previous month, and the red bar graph would show you the cash outflow that has happened. If you wish to understand this in detail, you could anytime generate an Excel report of the same as well. So this is how your Excel will come up. It will let you see the history of the AUM for the time period again that you have set in. Just a moment. Right. So the first column will let you know the dates. Following that, the second column will let you see what is the AUM for each of the month. Next to that, the two columns will show you the AUM change. First column will show you the change in terms of amount, in terms of rupees, and the second column will show you the AUM change in terms of percentages. Next to that, out of this AUM change, what percent of change has happened due to change in NAV is what we calculate on our end. So for calculating that, we consider the end date NAVs of 2 months. So right here for the month of 31st July 2020, we are showing it in the ascending order. For the month of 31st July 2020, we would be taking into consideration 31st August and 31st July NAV to arrive at an NAV percentage change. And then we determine this net percent change in AUM, which is typically a simple subtraction. The NAV percentage change is subtracted from the AUM percentage change to arrive at this NAV change. Now, you can see that if there happens to be a negative figure, that typically lets you know that there's a cash outflow that has happened. And if there happens to be a positive figure, you can understand that during that period, there was a cash inflow that has happened. So this is all about the AUM page or AUM chart that you can come across. Post that, we go to this asset allocation tab, wherein the first tab that you can come across would be the overviews tab, which will firstly let you know the current portfolio of each of the fund. So talking about this HDFC large cap fund, you could see there are in total 50 holdings for this respective fund, and you can see the list of all the 50 components that form part of this fund, their asset, their market cap, and also you get to see what percent exposure is coming from which component in the portfolio. And you can view this as on the latest date, which is 30th September 2025. You anytime have an option to download it into Excel as well. Post that, we have is this position changes by month. So this chart will let you know that in comparison to the previous month, how has the position of this fund changed in the current month. Now, for example, what all other things that it shows you is, firstly, it shows you the largest increase that has happened where you consider it to the previous month, the largest decrease that has happened, the positions that have been added, and the positions that have been removed completely. Now, right here, we are viewing this for 30th September 2025. That is, in consideration to the previous month, that is August, it says how has the portfolio changed in the month of September 2025. So it says it has increased its largest allocation into Maruti Suzuki as a stock than previous month. And for that matter, from ITC, it has reduced its allocation to an extent of 0.76%. Now, you can view this for a total of 12 months in the history. For example, if I select this as 31st August 2025, it will tell me in consideration to July, how has the portfolio changed. Here as well, we can see that it has increased its stake into Maruti Suzuki as a stock. And in addition to that, it has also reduced its stake into ITC as a stock. So for this Maruti and ITC, we can see that for 2 months consecutively, there has been an increase as well as a reduction respectively into each of these stocks. Post that, we come towards this position overlap tab. So this is a section which will let you know the portfolio of a fund for a period of 12 months in history. So the latest data will be available next to the name of the scheme, next to the name of the security and the sector, that is 30th September 2025. You can use this scroller option to scroll towards the right, which can show you the data for the previous 12 months. Now, right here, you get to see two colors. Green says, in consideration to the previous month, there has been an increase in terms of allocation, and red says there has been a reduction in terms of allocation. Now, we are currently viewing this data basis percentage format. So let's say I try to find ITC from this section. So all I did was select on Control F and I searched for ITC. So ITC has come up right here. So we get to see that consecutively for 2 months, the allocation into ITC has been reduced. From the month of 31st July, we get to see that for August and September, the allocation has drastically reduced. Now, has this reduction happened due to change in the price of ITC as a stock, or have they actually sold out the stocks of ITC? You could identify that by clicking on this drop down and selecting this option called as shares in lakhs. And right here as well, we would locate ITC, and you can simply see as well the shares have been sold out, which was stagnant for 2 months, which was to an extent of 239 lakh, which ended up reducing to 141 lakh, and then it came down to 73 lakh. So, of course, they are also selling out the shares of ITC. And hence, that we confirmed in this position changes by month that they are reducing their stake into ITC as a stock. This data you can not just view basis percentage or shares in lakh, but also on a sector level as well. There's a toggle option called as by security or by sector. So, for the previous 12 months on a month on month basis, how has the sectoral allocation changed for a respective month is what you could view right here. And this data can also come up into Excel download as well. Post that, you can see the equity sectors, or rather the top 10 sectors specifically, that are heavily weighted towards this fund. And just by clicking on the bar graph, you can see which all are the stocks from that sector that have exposure towards this respective fund. Post this, we would be moving towards this rolling analysis. So, rolling, as the name suggests, will let you know the consistency of the schemes that you're looking upon. And on a single fund analysis, you could view the rolling data for simultaneously three rolling windows: 260, 520, and 780 is something that comes up by default, which is equivalent to 1, 2, and 3 year holding period. You could view the data either in an absolute or an annualized format too. Now let's try to understand this rolling return statistics for a 1 year holding period, wherein it says the average is to an extent of 16.06%, which is to say that if you hold on to this fund, HDFC Large Cap Fund, for any 1 year, which is our rolling window, from our start date of April 2019 till our end date of 23rd October 2025, you would have had an average rolling return to an extent of 16.6%. Hence, it tells you that the volatility of these rolling returns happens to be to an extent of 17.9. Following that, you can see the highest rolling return in a 260-day rolling window happens to be 66%, and the lowest rolling return in a 260-day rolling window happens to be negative 39%. Now, one striking data that you can understand just by looking at this rolling window or rolling analysis happens to be the volatility parameter specifically. In a 260-day rolling window, the volatility, which was as high as 17.9, has drastically reduced when you look at it in a 2 year or a 3 year holding period. For a 3 year, it is to an extent of 3.8%. And the same goes for the lowest return as well. In a 1 year holding period, where the lowest return was negative 39, it has come down, wherein in the 3 year holding period, you can see the lowest return happens to be a positive figure in whole. That is to say that the more you stay invested into this fund, your chances of generating a negative return, or for that matter, your volatility parameter as a whole, would reduce, is what you can understand just by viewing at this data. Now, this rolling window is anytime editable. All you need to do will be put in multiples of 260, and you can simply run and view the rolling data for the time horizon that you have put in. Following that, you can also come across this rolling return distribution table. First thing that you need to do will be selecting your rolling return window. The tab that you mentioned right here, or the rolling window that you mentioned right on top, will get replicated into this return distribution chart. You can select accordingly right here. Let's say I select it for a 520-day holding period, and then you get to see the return range distribution right here. Now, this is a section which by default, there are 5 buckets that you can see, which is able to be edited on your end as well. Let's say you want to see what percent of times this fund has generated returns between maybe, let's say, a 20 to a 30%. So you put in your respective range and then it gives you the probability. So 37% of times this fund has backtested to generate a return between 20 to 30% in a 2-year holding period, which is 520 days. Post ruling analysis, we will be moving towards the drawdown step. So, drawdowns will let you know how quickly the fund is able to recover from a loss that has happened in the past. Now, on a single fund analysis, we show you the top 10 drawdown and recovery analysis. Top 10 basis the time period that you have set in, basis the start date that you put in, we show you the top 10 drawdown and recovery analysis. Now, reading the data is simply firstly, the first column will let you know the magnitude of loss. So, for this HDFC large cap fund, the loss was to an extent of 41%, wherein the fund NAV, which was at 521, started falling and it reached a level of 307. Now, when did this happen? You can see 4th July 2019 till 23rd March 2020, the NAV kept on falling, which is equivalent to a total of 187 working days of loss. Length is determined by the number of days the NAV kept on falling. And post our end date of 23rd March, it took a total of 190 days for our fund to recover. That is 190 days to cross our start NAV of 521. And the recovery happened on 14th December 2020. You could also verify this onto this line chart as well. The white region will show you the recovery phase and the gray region will show you the drawdown phase. So if I try to locate 14th December 2020 onto this line chart, so at this position, if you see, it says as on 14th December, the NEV was 523.05, which was indeed higher than our start NEV. Hence, this date has been considered as the recovery date. In addition to that, in any case wherein the recovery has not yet been happened, for example, the September 2024 market correction that had happened, this fund experienced a loss to an extent of 16.5, which has still not been recovered. Only 75% of it has been recovered. Hence, we will mention it as it is a still ongoing loss, and to what extent the recovery has been happened is what we will show you. And the last tab that we have for today is this scenarios tab. So this is a tab which can help you in creating customized scenarios of your own. All you need to do will be click on add custom scenario, give this scenario a name. Let's say I create a scenario of month to date for the month of October. All you see that it has gotten saved into this section. Once it gets saved, all you need to do is click on the name of that respective scenario, and then your data comes up accordingly. So in this MTD time period that I had created, how did the fund perform against that of the benchmark? Of course, both the fund as well as the benchmark gave in positive return. However, the fund was not able to beat the benchmark in this MTD time period. And also the benchmark took in considerably higher level of risk than that of the fund. Now, the one feature of this scenarios tab is that you create a scenario on any one single fund analysis or a portfolio level analysis. It will get remapped to every other single fund analysis or a portfolio analysis. So this happens to be more like a one time exercise, creating it just once. And the analysis that we had a look upon, you could generate fact sheets or fund level reports just by clicking on this PDF or PPT icon. So I would be showing you the PPT report. So in the premium and the pro version, these PDFs and PPTs would be co-branded report. This is the fund fact sheet, you can call it as. The first page will show you basic details related to the schemes, followed by the asset allocation, underlying equity, debt exposures, if any. Following that, you get to see the performance analysis, the performance chart against that of the benchmark. Next to that, you can see the drawdown analysis as well as the rolling analysis. And last page being the disclaimer. Post that, a fund level PPT as well could be downloaded on your end. So this is how your fund level PPT will come up. The first page will let you know the underlying components of that respective fund. Then you get to see the asset allocation split of the fund, the equity, the sectoral level exposure specifically. Following that, the position changes, the portfolio changes for a period of 6 months. Next, you get to see the performance analysis, the rolling return analysis, and the drawdown analysis. And PPTs on our system are editable. So adding a slide or removing a slide or adding in your comment would anytime be possible. So that is it for our topic related webinar. If anyone has any questions, you can either unmute yourself or type down your topic related questions in the chat box.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, just a small query on the ratios.
Yes.
So what we have witnessed historically that whenever the performance of a fund improves in the
Hmm.
last 3 to 5 years,
Hmm.
ratios tend to improve.
Okay.
So it feels like a post-mortem analysis. So whenever I try to shortlist the fund on the basis of ratios, all those funds come on the top which have delivered superior returns in the last 3 to 5 years.
Hmm.
So then how do we do the analysis in that case? Because if the performance is good, ratios are good. If the performance is bad, then the ratios are bad.
I mean, historical data is what you can use for such analysis, right? Because only if you do a proper pre-mortem, only then you get to see how you can decide onto the fund that way. I mean, you can anytime use Engine Fund Score as a feature as well that we have provided, which is again bases the performance of the fund only, the historical performance of the fund.
But then, it's historical, right? Then it doesn't guarantee any future performance.
Of course, there is no such guarantee that this fund will perform in the next future. This is more like you do your analysis on your end, and then it depends how is the market reacting to it, right?
And we have also seen every fund or a fund manager goes through a cycle. So after 3 4 years of outperformance, we typically see funds underperforming for the next couple of years, and then they again bounce back. So it's kind of a dilemma for me that should we look at such a ratios then, because they are basically they are an outcome of the performance, the ratios of the returns.
Of course, sure. So they indeed are outcome of the performance. Again, that is basis how the fund manager is managing the fund, right? So basis the fund manager's understanding how he is changing the portfolio of that respective fund, it again comes basis his understanding and his experience in the market. So all we can do is look upon the historical data, how the fund manager history is, and how is he changing the portfolio of a respective fund.
Mhm. Mhm. And and this engine fund score, is it only based on the returns?
Yes, so right here, what we consider is AUM is one parameter which is given a weightage of 10%. Following that, we consider short, medium, and long term returns and volatility as well. So, one,
Which
3 and 5 years returns and volatility both are considered, returns as well as volatility.
are we planning to make it more exhaustive, more inclusive? I mean, giving some weightage to the systems, some processes, investment
Uh,
style.
we'll have to look on that. Currently, this is what we have. We'll have to discuss internally if we can do something around this.
Mhm. Okay. Fair.
Because what happens then when the ratios improve, we are supposed to select that fund, right? Based on the ratios. And then normally the fund has outperformed very much that time. Means we enter at a high price. Just like in equity, when the market rises, we have a tendency to buy that. So actually, we are very late to buy that. And then we face the consequences. So similar thing happens if I buy, enter in the fund based on the ratios because they have improved because the performance has increased. You
Uh,
got the point, no?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, tell me, yes.
You have got me, no? What I
No, I'm
said.
sorry, there was a internet failure, so I could not
Okay,
hear
okay,
you.
okay. Okay. See what happens, the performance increases, ratio improves, right?
Correct, yes.
And then we select that fund, correct?
Hmm.
That means we are entering at a kind of a peak level or in the top level. And
So,
historically, what has happened,
hmm.
just like in a single equity, funds tends to rotate from Q1 to Q2 to Q3
Hmm.
to back to Q2, back to Q1, something like that. So if we buy at that level when the ratios are very good,
Hmm.
possibly, most possibly we are entering at a Q1 level or peak level. And
Sure.
there is a
So,
probability then it will go to Q2 due to any reason.
sure. So, in that case, if you feel that you're entering at an all-time high or a highest position, what you can do is you
Yeah.
can track that again, right? Rather than entering at the all-time high, you can just wait and see that if it might go low, because you also can look upon the asset allocation. That is, how is the portfolio changing? There are multiple things that you can look upon as well. Not just, of course, performance is improving, but then it depends for the time horizon wherein you're looking at the performance. If you look at a 1 year or a 3 year or a 5 year or a 10 year, of course you see that it is indeed performing or outperforming that of the benchmark. But then you can make use of other parameters that are available. How is the fund manager changing the portfolio? Which sector is he bullish on? In general, the category is bullish towards which sector? There are multiple things that you can have a look upon.
Okay. 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 Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Any more questions? Please let us know.
Yes, ma'am, I'm Sandeep here.
Yes.
I'm getting noise. Yeah. Yes. Actually, there are so many companies, so many funds available, and so much of data available.
Hmm.
It becomes very confusing for us basically to stick to a particular script, basically.
Hmm.
And there are so many categories, basically. So basically, maintaining a portfolio with different mix of different equity yellow exposures like maybe flexi cap, multi cap, mid cap, small cap, and all those things. Okay. So can you just help us out? Basically, what are the main important things we should look into for selecting any fund?
Uh,
So based
so
on that, basically we can study we can use your software and study the different schemes.
Sure. I mean, firstly, it would depend on the risk appetite of your client, right? Basis your client's risk appetite, you could select the categories of fund. If the client is, let's say, a bit more conservative, you can go forward with a
Yeah,
large
that
cap.
is different thing.
Huh.
That we definitely manage as per the risk appetite.
Hmm.
Specifically, we are looking into pure equity and returns.
Hmm.
It's an average exposure because if we see most of them are average customers who want decent returns with a
Hmm.
low risk drawdowns and like
Hmm.
that. So for particular this any for any average customer, like, for
So
any
for
average
that,
person, huh?
we have this Engine Pro, which is an upgraded version. So we have
Mhm.
provided you with certain strategic templates, right? So we have provided you with more like a 15 or a 14 odd portfolios that you can see right here. A complete equity portfolio or a mix portfolio for that matter, or a total debt portfolio if you want. We have provided you with such predefined or templates on ours from our side. So you can anytime make use of these portfolios. You can modify these portfolios as well. As I mentioned, these are templates which are available for the purpose of editing.
Mhm.
Right? So this is
Okay, where you have already curated your selected funds and
yes. I mean,
the script is prepared.
there is
Mhm.
no such qualitative input from our end. This is purely basis the scheme's performance only.
Because even if you track a particular fund and see the changes month on month basis of the EUM and the portfolio,
Hmm.
we need to compare it with other also.
Of course,
Then
of
only
course.
it is basically possible to uh, uh, decide on whether to continue with the same fund or other.
Yes, that is correct. And hence, we also have this two portfolio comparison feature as well. We are also coming up with multi portfolio comparison as well. Currently, this allows you to compare two portfolios only side by side. The multi portfolio feature will enable you to compare more than two portfolios next to each other and view their performance statistics. That is under process that will come up shortly onto the system.
Okay.
The multi-portfolio comparison will be in the Engine Pro or how is it?
Yes, that will be a feature of the Engine Pro, which will be an upgrade onto the system. If you have Engine
Okay,
Pro, that will come up by default.
okay, thank
No
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, in beginning you have shown that one where that benchmark is having better performance than this SDFC Flexi Cap, the large cap.
Huh.
What was that and how you have converted again to that the base of 100 or something? I was not able to make it clear.
Yes, so this was HDFC large cap fund that I was looking upon. Initially,
Yeah.
I just happened to change the date to 5 years ago that way.
Okay.
And then I was just showing you the performance wherein I mentioned that you have an option to change the benchmark as per your requirement. If you
Yeah.
want to see just the category average, you can
Okay.
select that as well as the benchmark. Right, so the category average now comes up as your benchmark against this fund performance. And then I was mentioning about this rebase specifically because if at all you see, both of them will start from their respective levels, right? Which will be different, and graphically speaking, they are not comparable. So in order to cater this issue, we have added this option
So
called as
is it true or what it is where that fund is not performing? Can you
no,
elaborate it?
they are from their starting from their respective level. Category average is starting from a respective level. The fund will start from a respective level basis the start date that you input.
Okay, so suppose in from that 23rd October 2020 to
Hmm.
20 October 2025,
Hmm.
this fund is having less performance than this category average.
No. That is what I'm saying, that it is not doing a bad performance. The only difference is its level is lower than what we are looking right now. So, in order to cater that, you just need to click on this or rather remove this actual NAV. Now what we have done is we have rebased it to 100. Both are starting from 100 right now. And now
Okay.
you get to see a fair graphical representation. Statistical data is anytime available towards the right. The graphical representation becomes fair only when they start from a single start point or a common start point. Hence, we rebase it to 100.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
No problem.
And what you told that the 2-3 portfolio can be compared at one go.
Yes, so that is a feature that will be coming up in Engine Pro.
So as of now, 2 portfolio means what? What 2 portfolio? Means only 2 fund I can compare, or I can compare many funds?
Two portfolios. Portfolio of multiple funds can be compared with each other. Two portfolios at a time.
So suppose here I can compare the SDFC large cap versus ICICI large cap. Are you mean to say that?
That could be done in this compare security as an option. So what I mean is portfolio.
Here, which portfolio? The client portfolio you are talking about?
Yeah, client portfolio. Two separate portfolios, you can compare them side by side.
No, but the client portfolio, one client will have one portfolio only. Now, how it is 2 portfolios?
Yes, so this feature is specifically wherein you wish to acquire new clients. You are
Okay,
pitching
fine.
your model portfolio to a prospective client that way.
Okay.
Right, so this is that feature which enables you to compare two portfolios. What is their current portfolio? What do you have that you are suggesting to them? This is that show. This is what it shows.
So current portfolio I can upload here through that the CAMS portfolio
Yeah,
or that
ECAS.
only MF portfolio can be uploaded, or the stock portfolio can be also uploaded.
Stocks could also be uploaded through ECAS, MF and stocks.
MF and stocks.
Yes.
So MF we have to upload the ECAS, and for stocks.
Sir, the ECAS will capture the MFs as well as stocks. NSDL and CDSL is what we consider NSDL, CDSL, and CAMS file. So NSDL and CDSL will consist of MFs as well as stocks.
Got it. Got it. So one I can put here the portfolio 1 and another portfolio 2. We can what we are suggesting, or the same they will change the allocation part.
Yes, that is also possible to do.
And from my model portfolio, we can pick any like aggressive or fund of fund or conservative, anyone I can choose.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, to do a better analysis, is it advisable to upload a summary mutual fund report or a detailed transaction report from CAMS
So,
website?
yeah, you can upload the summary file that way. Summary file will be enough to run the analysis on the same.
So, but let's say if I download the detailed transaction report from CAMS, then the outcome will be different from rather that versus uploading just a summary file.
No, that way we require only the summary file, because from those files as well, we will be capturing only the current holdings that are there. We do not require the transactions specifically.
No, but if we capture only the summary, then how will you know my returns, existing return of the client? If we
Sir,
report transaction, then only my portfolio's performance will be seen.
Actual performance.
The actual performance based on the transactions. If I put only the current holding, then
Let me just come here quickly. We do not consider transactions when we do analytics because we are not concerned about your today's profit or loss. We consider the holdings because we wish to understand whether whatever you are holding currently is right or wrong for next 5 years or next 10 years. So we are not considering the profit or loss that you are doing in today's current situation. So that's the reason we don't consider the transaction report from the transaction file, that is you are getting it from CAMS or Carvis.
okay. Only thing
Yeah.
what I thought actually, if we import the transaction report, no, then how my portfolios perform over 5,
So
10
that
years.
you will definitely get it from your back office system.
Yeah,
It will tell you your profit or loss. But
Yeah,
here we are understanding the holding analytics to understand whether we should be holding this current portfolio for next 5 years or not. or whether we should be doing some redemptions and investing some more into the different kind of schemes to make sure that you get a desired returns in next 5 to 10 years time.
Okay. And do we get year-wise statistical ratios, these schemes? Is it possible to get?
Right. So on a fund level, you're talking about the yearly returns, right?
Not returns, return ratio, the statistical ratios.
You can just give me an example, like what?
So let's say for HDFC Large Cap Fund, the information ratio, Sharpe ratio for 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Just to see how historically it has performed on the statistical parameters.
Yes, I mean,
So
that
these are
is,
already there. This is already there. Aren't you just take it to the statistical ratios, all the
yeah.
ratios?
So you can view that in the single fund analysis as well. So you can see this information ratio, tracking error. You can set in your start date and end date as per your requirement.
Okay, but is there any screen where I can get it year-wise on one screen without changing start date, end date? Just like how we get returns calendar year-wise.
No, so I mean, it is available in the compare section, but you will not be having an option to set the end date. The end date will anytime be the last trading day. You can edit the start date, that is possible, but the end date cannot be edited.
Okay. Okay, understood. Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions, please let us know. All right, if there are no further questions, we can close for today. Thank you all for joining in. You could anytime visit our YouTube page. We have a dedicated playlist for all the webinars that have been conducted up until now. Today's webinar will also be uploaded by next week. There are a total of 174 odd webinars that have been uploaded. Thank you all for joining in. Hope to see you again next week with a new topic. Thank you.